It is Vegas Country 95.5 KWNR, and welcome to Studio Sessions on 95.5. This is where you are introduced to the future stars of Nashville today. And today, we're talking to a guy who's been around music pretty much his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He's the son of singer-songwriter Rhett Akins and Valerie Music Company's newest rising star, Thomas Rhett. How you doing, buddy?
Man? I'm good. How are you?
So what brings you to Las Vegas?
What brings me to Las Vegas? The gambling. I'm just kidding. I haven't gambled one time. I come out here to get dried out, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You just got to get some sun, right?
Yeah, trying to catch some rays and lose my money, so.
So let me ask you this. I'm sure this is the big question that you get all the time. You know, how was it growing up the son of Rhett Akins?
Man, it's a funny story because the last time I was in Vegas, I actually convinced a girl out here that my dad was Rhett, my uncle was Rodney, my granddaddy was Trace, and my great-granddaddy was Chet Atkins. So, because the last names just sound all familiar, but
they're all similar, right?
Yeah. But it's one of those things where growing up in a country music-based home, my dad would force me and my sister to listen to the Beatles growing up, and to the Stones, but also to like Biggie Smalls and Tupac and DMX, and so we had a very wide variety of music played in our household growing up. So it was awesome.
That's pretty great, man.
Yeah.
So as a kid, like listening to all that music, and of course your dad being a singer and a songwriter,
yeah,
was this the direction that you wanted to go as an adult, or
I mean, not really. There, because you either growing up, you either go the same direction as your dad, or you kind of go the opposite direction. And I'd always been in bands. I was in a punk rock band in middle school called the High Heeled Flip Flops.
Nice.
And I was the drummer, so I didn't even play guitar growing up until I got to high school, and Dad taught me a few chords, and I kind of taught myself how to play. And so it wasn't until college really that I was in a cover band, and we were just doing some fraternity shows, playing like old rock songs and new country, and I got to open for a guy named Frankie Ballard to bring a lot of my college.
That kid's incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. A lot of my college buddies out there to see Frankie, and it was that night that I actually got signed to a writing developmental deal, and then it led to a record deal. So that's how I'm here right now, I guess you could say.
That's pretty cool. Is there any advice that your dad has given you, knowing that he's been he's been in that same chair that you've been in pretty much? Is there any good advice that he's given you that you think about every day, going out doing radio tours and playing on stage?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a really nervous human being. Like before I get on stage, I feel like I'm about to throw up every time. But when I get out there, I'm fine. And that's the same way he was. But his advice to me lately has just been go. It doesn't matter if you're playing for 10 people or 20,000 people. You got to go out there and kill it every time, And so that piece of advice has always stuck with me. But there's a lot of don't do this conversation that we have on the phone. So,
That's pretty good, man. Well, you did mention earlier that your dad had you listening to a lot of Biggie Smalls and the Beatles. But, I mean, what kind of music did you choose to listen to growing up? What was the stuff that influences you and the music that you write today?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 90. So I, towards like middle school and high school, there was a lot of like the 90s rock that I was a huge fan of. Like I was a big Blink-182 fan, and Third Eye Blind is still one of my favorite bands to this day. And I was way more of a rocker than I was in high school, but Dad had always not forced me, but always made me appreciate the old, like not the old guys, I say the old guys, but like the Whalens and the Merles and the Haggards, and but he it was always my choice, but I always kind of gravitated towards what he liked too, as far as just country music goes, especially listening to like Hank Sr., huge Hank Sr. fan. And me and Dad have seen the Stones in concert 5 times, and those are the people that definitely influenced my music today. So
absolutely, the new single is "Something to Do with My Hands." Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, man. It's not as dirty as you would imagine, which I know that's where your head's going right now. But it was one of the first songs that I wrote as a songwriter, and it was me and a guy named Lee Miller and another guy named Chris Stapleton, and we got into a room, and we didn't really have anything to write, and Lee had this title in his phone called "I Need Something to Do with My Hands," and I was like, well, that sounds fun, and so we just wrote it, and it's one of those songs that stuck with me from day one. As far as melodically and tongue in cheek goes, it was just a fun song, and I've been in the studio with a guy named Jay Joyce who did all the Eric Church records. And when he got a hold of it, it really put a new groove to it. And that's the song that we all agreed to put out as a single, and here it is. It's crazy that it's finally here. So.
Well, can we hear it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
You want me to play it now?
Absolutely.
All right. It goes like this. Well, I smoke and I fish, not near enough to satisfy an itch. Oh, but girl, understand, I need something to do with my hands. I don't work on a car, and I'm as bad at pool as I am at throwing darts and golf. Not a fan, but I need something to do with my hands. So maybe I could stick them in your pockets, run them through your hair, and we can get to rocking. There you are, and baby, here I am, and I need something to do with my hands. I could play you a song on this old guitar if it turns you on. If you want, we could dance, but I need something to do with my hands. So maybe I could stick them in your pockets, run them through your hair, and we can get to rocking. There you are, and baby, here I am, and I need something to do with my hands. Top off in my Jeep, yeah, we can go for a ride, and I can drive with my knees. I'll behave best I can, but I need something to do with my hands. So maybe I could stick them in your pockets or run them through your hair, and we can get to rocking. There you are, and baby, here I am, and I need something to do with my hands. I need something to do with my